Welcome back. Well, the Fairfax AGM is a month away, but it seems that major shareholder Gina Rinehart won't be using it to further her campaign for board seats. She hasn't put forward any motion for discussion or a vote at the meeting against the board or Chairman Roger Corbett. Well, for more, let's return to our co-host James Manning from Mediaweek. James, interesting this, isn't it? Because she's led such a campaign against the company's performance.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a surprise. I don't think she's ever really shown any inclination she's wanted to go public or come out in front of, an audience or a public forum and debate what's going on. I think she'd much rather, work through one of her spokespeople or talk to the directors, behind closed doors. So, yeah, no real surprise.
Interesting, Peter Cox, his nomination to try and join the board saying it's opposed to that and urging shareholders to vote against it.
Yeah, I think that's a bit from left field, and I think that the board said they're probably not going to support that, and I'd be surprised, I guess, if he got on.
Just staying with Fairfax unveiling new Tuesday food sections. What are we going to see?
Yeah, Good Food will be the new name of what was known as Good Living, but the Age will keep calling their Tuesday food section Epicure. But you can expect them both to be sort of radically redesigned, and they'll be sort of in the papers next Tuesday, the first ones.
All right, to the phone hacking scandal, the first criminal trial now, it is expected to be held September next year.
Yeah, it's Rebecca Brooks and I think 13 other people will be fronting the court. So yeah, it's still a year away, the start of that case, and it's going to go for a long time. There's lots of other associated cases that'll be working their way through the courts too that we're not sure of when they'll be getting dates.
News Corp Chair and CEO, as we know, is in Australia at the moment. He was at the News Awards and really confident about the future of print in what he was saying.
Yeah. Well, you were there, you were hosting, I think, Bridie, so you tell us. I think he came out and he said, yeah, look, newspapers are going to be around for a long time.
Absolutely, yeah. So very confident in the future of print there with what he was saying, but also obviously embracing the other technologies.
Yeah, and of course they're spinning off the company, and print's going to be, a major part of one of those public companies. So they think there's lots of life in it. Big award winners, Herald Sun, Ruth Lampert and Stephen Drill. I think Ruth won another award, so she won a couple on the night. Brand of the year, I think, NT News. We talk about that a lot on this show, so that punches well above its weight for a little paper up in the Northern Territory. The Australian was given the Innovation Award for the launch of its digital subscriptions, and I think Michael Warner was the sports writer of the year for the company that works for the Herald Sun in Melbourne.
Yeah, and interesting too to see advertising in other parts of the company also recognised.
Yeah, right across the board, not just the sort of people at the pointy end writing the stories, but the people earning the ad revenue and stuff like that.
Claire O'Donnell, advertising salesperson of the year too there.
Yep.
Okay, just turning to the radio sector now, in terms of appointments, another busy week here, and we've seen Kathy Thomas taking over that Melbourne role at Southern Cross Austereo.
Yeah, looking after Fox and Triple M down there, replacing Ben Amarfio. Had him on the show before. We talked about him recently. He's gone over to Cricket Australia, sort of in a marketing role there. Kathy been 5 years as sales director, but been working for various owners of those Melbourne stations for about 19 years now. So I think she'll be a popular appointment down there.
And we've seen Jodie Oddie, ARN Adelaide breakfast announcer. She's re-signed for another 3 years?
Yeah, 3 more years. Mixed breakfast over there. Very strong brand in the Adelaide market. ARN would wish that they could get mixed powering in Sydney or Melbourne like they do it in Adelaide. Fantastic. #1 FM breakfast there for a long time, and #1 station overall in the market.
Darren Hinch, he might be leaving radio as we've been reporting, but he's found a new role.
He's got a good job at 7 now, National Public Affairs commentator. So the good thing about Darren is he's got a good national brand, and they'll use that on Sunday night and Sunrise. But he's also very strong locally and expecting to crop up on 7 News in Melbourne.
Now, 4BH was trumpeting a very big announcement this week, biggest in 80 years, I think it was.
Biggest announcement in 80 years is going to be a big, massive. We all tuned in on Monday morning, and what do we get? They're changing the name for 1 week to 4B Hyundai. Look, that was a bit of a letdown. If you're right about radio, you think, whoa, big story here, but they did it was good for them. They got a sponsorship, I guess. They gave away one I-30, I think. So it wasn't I think some of the audience might have been a little bit underwhelmed by it too.
We're talking about it, aren't we? So,
yeah.
There you go. Now, Kyle Sandilands, we know, obviously, he's been the subject of an online campaign against him.
Vile Kyle, I think there was a blog, a sort of a pressure group.
There were reports that he was going to be suing
Yeah, I don't
online
think
critics.
that's, yeah,
but
I'm
now...
not sure where that story came on, but I don't think it's been the case. He's happy to let that go. They've gone off the radar a little bit. That's all sort of dying off, and I think he'd be as happy as anybody to move on from that without bringing it back into the mix.
All right, let's have a look at the TV ratings now. This is for week 38. Top 10 free-to-air TV first and 60 minutes. They're taking number 1 spot.
Yeah, again, those Sunday
9.
night current affairs shows just doing fantastic business. Sunday night at number 4 there too.
And the X Factor doing good numbers yet again for 7 there in the top 5. And just turning the page there, and we can see 7 News, 9 News, Sunday, both rating well.
Yep, absolutely. And Cosentino was that little special on a guy, I think from Australia's Got Talent, the magician. So he might have a future doing some more specials for 7.
And we're seeing House Husband.
House Husband's been renewed. Yep, sure,
Yep.
and yep, doing great business.
Okay, and let's have a look at the subscription TV ratings for week 38. Top 5 sport first, and of course we're...
Another new AFL subscription TV record. Just over 500,000 people watched that game, and it was the 4th most watched event ever on subscription TV.
Sydney versus Collingwood there. Now, the top 5 non-sport, and we saw Fox 8 there with 2 shows in there, The Simpsons and Family Guy, Rise of the Planet Apes on Showtime, doing quite well.
Yep, and Deadliest Catch there, a great little brand for Discovery.
And New Tricks for UK TV. All right, let's just have a chat about some of the news out of the television sector. And interesting, Fox Footy. How's it fared in its first year, and what happens once, you know, the AFL Grand Final's over?
It's been fantastic. Look, number 1 subscription TV channel, probably most weeks it's been on air so far. There was some thought that they might sort of mothball it, if you like, across the summer and then bring it back, but no, it's going to stay on air. It's going to be repeats, highlight shows right across the summer, so you can sit down on Christmas Day and you catch a game in the morning before you sit down to your Christmas dinner. So that's how big a success it's been. They just want to keep that brand out there.
Wow, okay, good for the AFL junkies. Just wanted to ask you about Underbelly too. I mean, we mentioned there about House Husbands getting reordered by 9. Underbelly Squizzy is coming.
Yep, Underbelly Badness finishes next week, last episode. I think it's been a great series, been really well done and a sort of intriguing watch. Underbelly Squizzy started filming in Melbourne this week. So you've got to think of the way screen time work, they turn these things around pretty quickly. 9 could have it to go a little bit earlier next year. You mightn't have to wait till this time next year to see it.
Just turning to the Brownlow medal, and quite interesting, apart from the winner, the Footy Fashion Police causing a minor sensation here.
And they sort of did what you'd want them to do, I guess. Get a lot of people chatting about it. Wasn't all positive commentary, but you know they did get some discussion going on. They set up. They were very brave. They sat in the room with all the players sort of behind them early in the night, and it was a sort of similar deal. 4 people: Melissa Hoyer, Charlotte Dawson, Alex Perry, and Peter Morrissey, discussing the fashions of people on the red carpet, and it was pretty positive. The general discussions too. They maybe did a few minor things wrong that they could have got some of the names, remembered some of the names of the wags. Maud Garrett did a very good job of that, working on the red carpet earlier in the night, but the same producer who was feeding her the names was sort of missing while the Footy Fashion Police were on. So, but yeah, you know, there might have been too much chat to bring the brand back, but I think they might, you know, give it another. I'd like to see. I love the original Fashion Police, and I'd like to see an Aussie version.
There you go. There's the call then. Just finally, James, as you mentioned before, we are heading into the end of the ratings year. Not long left at all. How's it shaping up? Do you think is it going to be pretty tight between 9 and 7 in the free-to-air space? Certainly?
Yeah, it will be. I think the thing making the difference at the moment, if you like, is probably the X Factor. It's almost a little bit quiet the run home. We've got the big current affairs shows working on Sunday nights. We've got Big Brother working well for 9 early on, but their night when Big Brother finishes hasn't been too good. 7, X Factor's really been powering them along. Now with the football finishing for both of them. The thing that will make a difference is the new US shows. 9 have got some new, the Big Bang Theory coming in next week, so that should do very well for them. We've talked a lot about 10's new shows. 7 will be a bit more careful with what they put in. I think they're going to do some new Grey's Anatomy, but you can expect them to hold a few things to sort of keep their powder dry until next year. So it will be close. 10 to improve a little, and 9 and 7 to battle it out right till the end. And subscription TV, of course, with new shows coming out. Yeah, the Fast Forward. I think they've had that revolution on that, which has been doing pretty good business, I think. A little bit more off the radar because the audience numbers aren't as big a deal. But yeah, they've been introducing a lot of new shows, and we might talk about that in the next couple of weeks too. Absolutely. James, thank you so much as always. Right. James Manning, editor and publisher of Mediaweek. That's all we've got time for on the show this week from the team here. Thanks for your company.